Today we're going to talk about working with VAs and AI. 1% better every day, and you will definitely achieve it. We help people buy businesses. Today's all about is understanding how to leverage to grow our businesses, like I've been doing for many years.
But you can do so many things with ChatGPT and all the other AI tools out there.
And that's why I try to educate people. Like, look, you should be able to have strategy sessions. Business Ownership Summit is back, happening October 5th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. We have an action-packed day full of multiple sessions on advantages of owning a small business from a CPA standpoint, employed to entrepreneur, a session on how to get the right mindset to transition into owning a business of your own. We're going to do multiple sessions. We're going to do a session on the best franchise models to own while keeping your W-2 and much, much more. So go to businessownershipsummit.com. Get your ticket now. They will sell out. It's absolutely free. See you soon. All right. Welcome, everybody. Hi, I'm Beau Eckstein, and we have Bill Davis here. Today's going to be a fun day. And actually, the video that you just saw was put together by my virtual assistant in the Philippines without very expensive camera equipment. If you get a good editor, why we like the Philippines especially. So we're going to talk about VAs and AI and how we do it in our business. And so today we're going to dive in. The first segment's going to be on the virtual assistant part of it, and then we're going to do some demos on how we're using ChatGPT to create content. I know many of you might be in real estate and some other industries, but probably most of us are in some sort of consulting or sales business. And so how do we market one to many, and how do we optimize our time? And that's what really today's all about, is understanding how to leverage to grow our businesses, like I've been doing for many years, where I'm able to, have my calendar pretty much booked up on autopilot through utilizing AI and virtual assistants. So I hope we share some good information. It's not going to be deep dives on how much you could do it in AI, because AI is pretty much, untapped at this part. I mean, we're just scratching the surface, but I think we'll give you a little bit of insight, so it'll get you hopefully excited to start utilizing some of these tools that are out there for you to make your business grow faster and actually buy back your time, as Dan Martell says. So without further ado, we'll kind of jump into the slideshow. So actually, one of the tools we use is something called Gamma.app, but we're able to put presentations together with AI now, and we can do them very quick. So it's one of our tools that we're going to share with you, that if you're ever doing any kind of presentation and you want to go fast and do a relatively good job, it's amazing what these tools can do. Within what used to take us an hour or two can take us literally 2 minutes. So I hope you guys like those kind of tools, because that's what we're going to share with you today.
And Bo, I want to interject that the main theme here is to buy back your time, right? So we're sharing these things with you so that you can focus on the things that you need to focus on, and have other people, your VAs, focus on the things that kind of are behind the scenes, like the back office stuff and lead gen and all that kind of stuff, so that you don't have to worry about all that stuff. You're going to do the most, ROI enhanced or focused work you can do, and leave everything to everybody else.
I love it. Yep. So why work with virtual team members? Like I said before, I have 14 or 15 years. I'm a firm believer in virtual assistants. I have 3 full-time virtual assistants right now. 2 of them have been with me probably 5 or 6 years, and the other one was been with me for probably 3 years. So definitely reliable. I communicate usually through Slack, and that's been a very efficient tool. We set up channels to communicate. You could really have virtual assistants for many use cases. So I have a video editor. I have a generalist. You can have executive assistants. Some people have bookkeepers overseas. Pretty much you name it can be outsourced. And it's just amazing what that can do to free up your time. Things that we were doing. So if let's just say you're a real estate broker and you're a listing agent, and you're going to present to a couple that wants to sell their home. right? We have to pull data, we have to pull comps. All these things can be outsourced. Obviously, you have the expertise to kind of look it over at the end before you do your presentation. But those are the kind of tasks that, as a real estate broker, you might want to look at outsourcing. But really, there's a limitless amount of things that can be outsourced. And I try to figure out where there's constraints in my business and then plug them in with SOP, which is what we call a standard operating procedure. So we create SOPs for the different tasks that we want to be outsourced. And then what that does is it buys back your time. So then you can really work on the things that make you the most amount of money and also give you the most enjoyment, and then give you more time back so you can spend with your family.
And just a note on the SOPs. It's really important to do that because, VAs, Beau's kept his VAs for quite some time, but I've worked with other entrepreneurs who don't keep their VAs very long for a number of reasons. So you change VAs. Once you go to using virtual assistants, you'll almost never go back. But you will have VAs who move, change jobs, change companies, something goes wrong, whatever. SOPs are important because they give you two things. They give you one is a documented procedure that is a living document that you can upgrade or update as things change or as you figure out, how do I improve this process? So you can change those things on the fly. But secondly, you can use those SOPs to, in effect, train your next VA. Or your VA, if you have one VA and you want to bring on a second, your VA can actually show them the SOP and they can learn from that SOP rather than you having to reinvent the wheel every time you bring on a new VA.
Yeah. So just for example, Bill helps me put on a lot of virtual events, and most of them are in regards to financing businesses and buying businesses. But we're passionate about the marketing and the AI space and automation. So that's why we're doing this event, to kind of share our knowledge and hopefully help you as you progress. And just like most of my entrepreneur colleagues and friends, they're all utilizing similar systems because they know that that's going to help them grow their business. And before you go out and you want to hire a virtual assistant, it's very important to figure out exactly what you need the most help in. So I think that's like item 3 here. Self-assessment is figure out what needs to be delegated, where are your strengths, where are your weaknesses. Because of a virtual team member, remember, they're a human being and they have certain skill sets too. So you're not going to typically have one virtual assistant that's going to do all your editing, going to do your executive assistant work, going to do all your lead follow-up. Generally, eventually, you're going to have a VA that does all your social media and content and editing. Then you're going to probably have more of an executive admin. So and we have different SOPs for all the different positions that you would eventually hire for. But you wouldn't go out typically and hire 3 or 4 at once. Some people do if they really need it, but you're going to be strategic about that. You're going to bring on where the roadblock is first, where that constraint is, and you're going to plug that with a virtual team member. And then over the last couple of years with AI, which we're going to get into later today, is that if you can plug these two together, virtual team members and AI, and then create prompts. And a prompt is basically, I'll define it as it's an input that you give AI that will spit out the answer for you. And essentially, that's not the real scientific way, but that's what it does in my kind of thought process. So we're going to show you just a cool prompt later today. We have hundreds of prompts we use. Bill's better at prompts. He's got all the shortcuts. He's got all the tools. Bill's been doing internet marketing for well over 20 years now. And so we use it for a lot of stuff. Bill actually helped me write a draft copy of a book utilizing AI. So you can use it for brain dumps, where you have ideas, where you're thinking about it. So it's going to be exciting as we merge these two. And that'll be the kind of back part of this presentation. Let's go on to the next slide if you don't mind. I guess I'll rewind. When I live in Las Vegas now, but I grew up mostly in the San Francisco Bay Area in the East Bay. And years and years ago, I used to run a real estate investor meetup we would make marketing videos, and then one of my associates put one up on YouTube, and I actually ended up getting casted for a TV show from this video. This was back in 2013, and I ended up doing a TV show, believe it or not, for HGTV. We did a house flipping show, and when I went to this casting, they had a clipboard and they had a printout of me on YouTube from this video. So after that, we did 12 episodes, the show was called Flip It to Win It. It's my 2 minutes of fame. A light bulb went off, and I realized that YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. And who owns YouTube? Google. And so this was early on, and it took me a few years to kind of catch on. But then I realized, look, if they're finding me for this TV show, who else is going to find me on YouTube? So fast forward a couple years later, I started a YouTube show called Investor Financing Podcast. We also stripped the audio, and that YouTube channel feeds that is where I get all my business from, believe it or not, is from YouTube and guesting on other people's podcasts. So I realized if I could put out more videos, I would probably be found more and people would want to buy things from me. And so that has led into thousands of appointments over the last couple of years. Thousands. So every day there's at least 4 or 5 on my calendar, and it's generally from YouTube. So the problem is I don't know how to edit, and I would get frustrated, and I don't want to even learn how to edit. So that's when I really clicked on. I was using virtual team members for other things, but that's when I hired a full-time video editor. And I basically shoot video, whether it's on Zoom or it's on Riverside, which is a little bit higher quality platform, or I shoot it on my iPhone, and I send the file via Dropbox or through Slack, and then my team edits it and makes it look somewhat good. And so that's how I was able to produce over 1,600 videos. And so if I didn't have virtual team members, I would have never been able to do that. And so that alone has been a huge ROI, because the other benefit of working with virtual team members is the cost is, like I said, is probably a quarter or even less than what you would pay somebody in the States for editing. And they're really good. And we've created SOPs. We've created different Slack channels to communicate. So it's been good in that regard. So that's really how that was really my first full-time need, was social media. It wasn't necessarily the video editing full-time, but I hired a social media manager that did some editing and so forth early on in the career. And then I would outsource to sites like Fiverr and Upwork and whatever the other ones were in the past. I still use some of them occasionally, but having full-time virtual assistants is a game changer, and not just on the social media and video editing side. So then you go into like the transaction side of your business. What can you do? Like we were talking about listing agents, with having a virtual assistant that schedules meetings, that creates your presentations and so forth. So there's definitely a lot of uses there. The power of delegation, like what's your hourly rate? If you broke down what you earned last year minus your business expenses, like what are you really making per hour? And let's just say your time is based on what you're earning today is $100 an hour. Well, how do we get that up to $500 an hour? So that means we have to delegate. We have to give the tasks that aren't making us $500 an hour to a virtual assistant, where you're going to pay, $5, $8 an hour. And then you're going to focus on those $500 activities. So then you can bring up your, average daily wage to as high as possible. And you're doing the things you like. And it's not just about the money. It's also about like doing what you like. If you like to have ideas, but you're not one to like get in there and figure out how to actually make things work. So the way I structured my business was I found a Bill, right? And so Bill is what I call like my integrator. And so Bill helps me create SOPs, and then those SOPs then run the team. They run the 3 full-time virtual assistants. So depending on where you're at with your business, I think there's different, you got to start somewhere. Some of you might be crushing it in your business already and have a good amount of revenue. Some of you might be kind of struggling, but have a little bit of discretionary income where it really makes sense. I mean, that's where you got to kind of double down. You got to look at like the time you're not being efficient. And if you had that virtual assistant, and let's say that virtual assistant cost you $2,000 a month for a full time or $1,500 a month, whatever that number is, could you, by getting back that much time, could you be producing $3,000 or $4,000, right? And that's how I always think about it. What will be the ROI? So I'm at the point now to hire more team members. So it's just about now figuring out what role will that team member be, and then what if my cost for that person was $10,000 for the year, or 12,000, what will my projected ROI be, right? And it depends. If you're selling real estate and your average sales price is $600,000 and you're making 2.5% commission, you know, one deal can easily pay for the year of having a virtual assistant. So I like to break it down that way. Like, okay, can this virtual team member help me get one more deal that will actually put me profitable by $1,000? All I have to do is close one more deal by hiring this person, and this person's going to take so much weight, so much weight off my chest. So I think that's a good way to start looking at this, and then just being more efficient. Anything to plug in there, Bill?
Yeah. So while I've been in marketing for almost 30 years, like Bo said, my education is in economics. That's where I got my degree. And one of the things that sticks with you as an economist or an economic student is opportunity cost. Everything has an opportunity cost. If you're spending time scheduling social media because you like it or because you think you have to, and you spend 5 hours a week doing that, or let's say it's 10 hours a week doing that, in those 10 hours, what did you give up in terms of revenue generating opportunities? Like in those 10 hours, you couldn't be at the Chamber of Commerce, you couldn't be meeting with clients, you couldn't be staging real estate, you couldn't be showing listings, all that stuff. It's all an opportunity cost. So what can you offload to VAs who will be able to do that stuff? And they'll probably be, well, I shouldn't say probably, they'll be able to do it better than you can. It Again, you got to be strategic. The things you're good at, you want to keep doing. The things that make you the most revenue, you want to keep doing, but offload those things that don't make you the high revenue, at least immediate revenue, and that you can't do as well. I want to also point out that those three things at the very bottom, SOPs, incentives, and access to AI and other tools. We'll talk about the last thing later in this presentation. But the SOPs are very important. Talked about that already. Another thing I want to add about SOPs is we generally do them two ways, written and video. So we'll do a video, like a screen share of generally it's me or me and Beau doing something step by step. And we share that video along with the written steps that are contained in that video, if that makes sense. The other thing is incentives. Beau talked earlier about, virtual assistants, they're humans too. And like all humans, they operate best with incentives. Obviously, you treat them right, you pay them well, but think about incentives. If your business is about getting leads, which it is, every business is, can you pay them on a per lead basis, or can you give them a bonus if they bring in a certain type of client, that kind of thing? Anything to add to that, Beau, before we go to the next slide?
Well, yeah, I think it's also what you're hiring for. So like one of the next hires I might do is a lead generation specialist, and their job would be to go on to like build lists for me, to contact people via email or direct message. And so, yeah, I mean, I think some certain positions I would put some sort of bonus in there to motivate. Most of my positions right now are just like a set hourly rate, and I do, they get off for all the Philippine holidays. I'm quite flexible with them. Like if they have obviously emergency come up, that it's no big deal in my mind. I find the culture of the Philippines that they're really hardworking people. Probably more hardworking than most Americans, I would probably say. And they're very loyal. So I've learned that for many years because I've worked with in the Philippines for, I don't know, 15 years. That's why a lot of these virtual assistant companies work. And in the Philippines, they're 14 hours ahead, I believe, but they'll work your time schedule because you're used to working overnight. So they're used to working graveyard. So it works out perfect for them, and that's the normal hours for most of them. So it's just interesting. And then $1 American is a little bit over $1 American is 50 pesos. So your dollar goes so far. So that's another great thing. We're able to with technology we can leverage and have workers remote. And I don't really want to have like a big local team. I don't want to have brick and mortar locations. It's just not my personality. I want to have a lifestyle business, and I think many of you out there today want to have lifestyle businesses. But yeah, there's a lot of SOPs. We have SOPs for different industries. We literally have probably 50 or 60 different SOPs. So it's probably knowing a little bit more of what you want instead of we can't bombard you. Yeah, we can give some examples, and we can definitely help you. We have a team we work with that train virtual assistants, and that's where I hire my virtual assistants from. So we can definitely connect you if that's something you want to do. And they actually have thousands of templates and SOPs, and they do ongoing training. So like I said, there's a lot of resources out there. I think what Bill and I are really good at doing is aggregating data and resources. Like we'll find stuff we like from what other people are doing. We'll adopt to the way we would do it, because there's a lot of things that need to be modified for you, because we run our business a little different. So hopefully in the future, maybe we could do this quarterly, this event, or this workshop, whatever you want to call it, where we can kind of go deeper on some of these things that I think would be valuable. Today is more high level, but I think in the future, I'd love to see kind of breakdowns of SOPs and how to make them easy and not overcomplicate things, how to use Slack. Some people use Asana and these different, apps. I think that complicates things. Google Drive or Dropbox and Loom or Zoom to record videos, and then some basic writing skills. And what Bill and I have done is we use ChatGPT to help format and help with the prompts and things too. So you can actually use ChatGPT to help you create prompts that prompt ChatGPT. So it's pretty awesome. If you guys want to talk to our team, getting a virtual assistant, they'll walk you through the process and how they help you recruit and train and virtual assistants. You just go to businessownershipcoach.com/VA. That you'll get a good 20-30 minute overview of how the company works. And that's where I work with the VAs from and have a very good relationship with them. So if that's something you want, you definitely go there. And then also you saw the video we played in the beginning. So that's an event I do quarterly. The logo, the editing was all done with my team in the Philippines. So that quarterly event is October 5th. We wrote the copy for the event in about 2 minutes using ChatGPT. So when you go to the Eventbrite page, just probably like when you went to the Eventbrite page for this event, we just gave it the idea and it writes it for you. I mean, so like you got to sometimes finesse the prompting, but once you understand the basic flow of prompts, you can use it. And then eventually you can create your own bots that almost like your own agents that actually can even do more. And Bill's got a better understanding of that than I do, but I use it pretty effectively, and I've only just scratched the surface.
So just go ahead and listen. It's a couple of minutes. Apologize for the sound.
This is the prompt. Generate a weekly Instagram story calendar in a table format featuring 2 daily story ideas. Okay. Then the next thing you want to do is you want to put in your use case. And your use case can be anything. It all depends on your profession, depends on your customer avatar, etc. This is an example. And then you just hit the little up arrow and you watch it do its thing. It'll build a table for you. So that's Monday. I'm going to pause it here and we'll pick it up at the end of the week. Now, all told, that took 2 to 3 minutes, but it gave you 14 posts, 7 personal, 7 professional, one for each, alternating each day of the week. So for Monday, for example, the personal Share a morning coffee view from a luxury property you're showing this week. Take a quick video you could do. Visual, scenic view of Reno from a luxury property, morning light. Hook, this is how I start my day in Reno. What's your favorite morning view? Supporting text, just another reason why I love helping my clients find their dream homes in Reno. Features, use the poll sticker. Morning view envy, yes or no. They're basically two buttons. It's very interactive. People click yes, people click no. You see instant results. That's a pretty cool feature on Instagram. You can do this for any of the social media channels. So when you go down to the bottom, you can just hit copy, throw that into a Word document or a Google Drive document, however you want to do it, and do this for the next week. Repeat as necessary. You can do this 52 times and create a whole bunch all at once. It's a good way to bulk create posts like this. And here's the kicker. You can hand all this stuff off to the VA.
All right.
That was just like one like simple prompt, right? And so that was basically the avatar was the person putting the prompt in was a luxury real estate agent in Reno, Nevada that specializes in selling luxury properties to Californians that are trying to buy second homes or investment properties on the Nevada side. And so we give that prompt and we can put any particular, use case in. Doesn't have to be necessarily a real estate agent. And then we also put in who's the ideal client, 35 to 55-year-old tech worker from Silicon Valley, right? And so we can put whatever your use case is in easily into that prompt. We also do another prompt, which is really cool, which is we train AI or we train ChatGPT. We basically give a prompt. I don't have it in front of me, but we give a prompt and we say, I am a real estate agent specializing in new construction sales. Ask me 20 questions so you can best understand my business and create better content. And then it spits out 20 questions. You answer those questions. Then you start training the AI so it knows who you are, knows what your avatars are, your clients, and then it creates better content for you. So that's just like one simple way of doing it. I just thought that was pretty cool because what Bill showed was that he created a content calendar of ideas. Now the virtual team member gets that. Then what else you do is you also pinpoint some shorts and reels that you see on Instagram that you like how they're doing the video and the editing, and you say, hey, here's some example ones I like. So now that the team member understands the editing that you kind of want, you shoot a couple videos, and they can also they can use the AI to create different blog posts and articles based off of all that. Now the phase 2 is, now that we gave an overview of working with virtual team members, now we're going to talk about how you supercharge with putting AI and VAs together. And let's go ahead, Bill. You want to get started on this part?
Yeah. So we put together just a few real life AI use cases. And just keep in mind that all of these tools, if you give them to your VAs, they can be at least 10 times more productive than they are right now. So these are just a few use cases. Content creation. That's probably what most people use AI for. It's for writing blog posts, white papers, press releases. Other uses are podcast show notes because those are painful. You got to get the transcript and you got to basically summarize that into notes. Well, ChatGPT can do it quite easily. And if we have time, I'll do a little demo, a live demo, which I hate doing because it always goes wrong. But I can do a live demo that shows you on a YouTube video how ChatGPT using a Chrome extension can summarize a video in like less than a minute. And it could be an hour-long video. Other things are like cold email outreach. We do script writing for YouTube videos if we want to do a faceless video. And we'll show you the tool we use a little bit later. You can make faceless videos using your own voice, and you don't have to say the words. You just type them. You get a script that was delivered by, it could be Claude, it could be ChatGPT, it could be, Gemini, any of the AI ChatGPT-like tools. We've even done like business plans. Beau mentioned we did a draft of a book, loan requests and projections. We also use it to brainstorm. It's like, hey, I want to do a marketing campaign on an event about XYZ. And the more detailed you can give in the prompt, the better output you're going to get. Anything to add to that, Beau?
I mean, literally, you can be as creative as you want. You can upload a PDF or a Word document, and you can say, using the attached, and it could be. So, for example, like I might go on a YouTube. Let's just use real estate agent because I think we have a handful, or most of us, or some of us are here are agents. So if you look around, like what could you do? So I just think, okay, if I'm a real estate agent and I want to start using YouTube, okay, let's just say you're in Phoenix, Arizona. So what do? You go onto YouTube, you go in and you start researching Phoenix, Arizona homes for sale, Phoenix, Arizona real estate market update. Then you're creating like the 30 most searched ideas on YouTube. And you can actually use AI to help you do this. And now that can be some good input. So like if I was selling houses still, I'm in Las Vegas, I would do new home construction tours. I would obviously outsource the editing to my team. I would do walkthroughs, and I would use AI to figure out like for example, I would do a weekly real estate market update, and I would capture stuff from the board of realtors, right? They're going to have like market updates. You're going to take that. You could basically get that PDF they usually send out with all the stats, and you can upload it to AI, to ChatGPT, and it could write like a whole script for you. It can write blog posts. We have prompts. So like when I do like a webinar like this, I have a worksheet that has 10 different prompts to write articles, to write blog posts, to write social media posts, to find like 5 or 6 like highlighted points in the topic. It's just amazing all you can do. So I think there's so many use cases. I just think it's like figuring out your business. Like if we sat one on, if we had like somebody came on the stage right now with Bill and I and talked us through their business, Bill and I could give you like 30 solid ideas because we've tried almost all of them on like how to grow your business. Like I do this all day long. I think I actually do this better than I do my other business. Is I can like see like how I can help because we've tried almost everything out there, and I think if I could give anybody any advice, I'd say if you're in any sales business, it's really about building brand these days. I don't know if you guys know Alex Hermosi. He's a big influencer on YouTube. He was against building brand, but if you're in real estate, you should build brand. Like you want everybody to know that you sell luxury homes in Reno, Nevada, right? Like, and how do you do that? How do you do it efficiently without you actually doing most of the heavy lifting? You're using AI and you're using virtual assistants. You're leveraging your time. And then I have many case studies from YouTube where people have booked calls and I've gotten big commission checks. And that happens to all my real estate friends too that are putting themselves out there on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or writing blog posts or a newsletter. All these things, we're using these techniques with all those platforms.
All right, so we've talked a lot about ChatGPT. We use it extensively for writing, always proof what it outputs, fact check it, make sure it's accurate, make sure a human can read it. It's gotten a lot better. When it first started back in, I think it was end of 2022, it was not as good. It hallucinated a lot. It made a lot of stuff up, but now it's all the AI tools are a lot better. And Sam Altman, the founder of OpenAI, which is the company that runs ChatGPT, said in a few thousand days, subject to interpretation, in a few thousand days, it will be smarter than any human. Now, if you do a few thousand days and a few thousand is, 3,000, that's, I think, 8 years or something. I think it's going to be faster than that. But nevertheless, we've kind of gone through all of this, but we use it for content creation, idea generation, and really what it is it's a time saver. So if you're a good writer, you can tell GPT, create 10 headings or a 10 heading outline for me and about this subject, and then give it as much detail as you can. But sometimes you don't have to give it too much detail. It already knows what it's kind of eerie. It almost knows what you're going to ask it. But once you get that output, then you can write the details of the the text under the headings. You can do it any way you want. You can have it write the whole article. Just make sure you proof it, make sure it's accurate, make sure a human can read it. And that's really about it. But you can do so many things with ChatGPT and all the other AI tools out there. Here are some of the tools we also use besides ChatGPT. We use Tubebuddy. And Tubebuddy isn't necessarily AI, although it's incorporating some AI components into it, like title suggestions, hashtag suggestions, things like that. But we use it, like Beau said, YouTube is like a huge part of his business. And once we realized that 90% of his leads, maybe even more, 95% of his leads are coming through YouTube, we really doubled down on optimizing those videos such that, so first of all, what Beau does is very specialized and it's very niche. So it's easier for us to rank for the terms that we know people are searching for. So if you're trying to do something like in fat loss or health or something, it's going to be a lot harder to rank for these YouTube videos. But for us, and I would say if you localize this, if you're like a local real estate agent, Beau's been using the example of, you're a Reno real estate agent specializing in new construction luxury homes. You already know what people are looking for. You know what questions they're asking when they go to YouTube or when they go to Google to search. What you really want to do is you want to come up with the top of any search engine results that YouTube or Google offers. So you just write compelling titles, you deliver the content. They can be faceless or you can be doing them. Most of those videos are him doing videos. He's either interviewing somebody, talking about a concept, or something within his industry, something new like interest rates. There was a 50 basis point drop in interest rates by the Fed last week, or maybe it was this week. That's a big deal in this industry. It's easy to rank for these things, but we use Tubebuddy to help us rank for these things. It really does help. And it's just got a lot of good like automation tools and stuff. You can like automate your default uploads so that when you upload a video, it's already got like the basic tags and the basic description in there and the basic settings already set up. So it's very worthwhile. It's not very expensive. We can send you links. Another one that we use that we're just starting to use, and Beau can probably speak to this one a little bit better because he's actually done the experimenting with it. It's nvideo.io. And this thing is amazing because I talked about this a little bit before, but I didn't tell you what the tool was called. You basically, what do you talk? You tell it like 30 or 60 seconds worth of your talking.
Yeah, so you just read like something for 30 seconds, then it records your voice. Okay. And then all you do next is that I'll go to ChatGPT and I'll write like an idea for a script, 200, 300, 400, 500 words. I take that script, I upload it to NVIDIA, and then it's me talking, but it's not me talking, right? And it takes, and then it gets B-roll, which is like basically stock footage, and creates like a beautiful video. And it's like done for you, and it's your voice talking. You can do that stuff just with audio as well, and you can do content for YouTube. You can do reels that way. And so what I do now, and this is one of my newer tools, but I dive into the stuff, is that what I'm doing now is I'm shooting like an intro video that goes into this video. And then I'm having my VA do a quick edit on it. So it's like personalized with me on the front end. So there's so many ways to use it, but if you play around with this, I guarantee you'll be like, wow, this is pretty amazing. Like this is like an amplifier right here. Because like, I still have to film content, right? And now this is like a game changer because now I can plug in days I'm not in front of the camera. We can also, we do a lot of Q&As too. So if you're a real estate agent, just to give you, we have limited time, but just think about all the communities in your neighborhood, right? So what you would do is like, first you would do big titles, like for your videos, like, Reno, Nevada homes for sale. Then you do, let's just say there was a subdivision called McCarran, McCarran Ranch homes for sale, Reno or whatever, right? And see, now you're creating all this content around these, and then you have a Reno, Nevada market update. So then you start posting, and over time you have all these videos. And what do people do when they're looking for real estate? They search. Now they find a video, they see you talking, or they see you doing a home tour in a new house, and then they have a call to action. They're like, hey, give me a call if you're looking for real estate. And if you don't have an agent, video builds trust. Like, people get on book calls with me, and they act like they're my buddy, and I never have talked to them because it conveys a stronger message than written text. So if I can convey anything to you, I know I'm going to convey the AI and VAs and all this stuff, but putting yourself out there on video, even if you are a little bit introverted, is such a game changer. It's really changed my business. And the last thing I'll say to that is that just think about this. Every video I put out there on an evergreen platform, what I mean evergreen, that it's always there, like YouTube. A video I did 3 years ago could be found in search, and it resonates with this client, and the client calls me, right? And I make, a 30 or 40 or $50,000 commission, which happens. So, and if
Yeah,
you're
so-
selling luxury homes, it could even be bigger.
Yeah, so Beau touched on something really important there. When you do videos, make it easy for people to contact you. That could be your phone number, or it could be a call to action that says, hey, book a call. But don't leave those things out. Put those in your YouTube descriptions, in your Instagram, link to bio, all that kind of stuff. Make sure you make it easy for people to contact you, because it would really suck if you created all this great content that was getting great search results, and people were flocking to your videos and they were loving them and they were liking them and they were subscribing and this and that and the other thing. But then it was really hard to find you. Don't do that. Another tool that we talked about just briefly was Riverside.fm. The cool thing about Riverside is it's great for like an interview style show so I'm in the Seattle area, Beau's in the Las Vegas area. We do Riverside like interview style podcasts sometimes, where maybe I'll ask him some questions or whatnot. The video quality is great. The audio quality is outstanding when it's compared to Zoom. Not knocking Zoom, but the reason there's a technical reason why Riverside has higher quality than Zoom. With Zoom, essentially it's recording in their servers, right? So if you have a bad internet connection, choppy, slow, all Zoom can do is get what Zoom gets from you, right? So it's going to get some crappy video and audio from you. The cool thing about Riverside is it's recording locally. So on Riverside, on my end, it's recording my audio and my video on my machine, on my hard drive. It's doing the same on Beau's. And then when you're done, it uploads both of those videos into their servers, and then they let you consume the content in several ways, but it will combine the content, but it's pristine quality. It's, if you have good, if you basically have a hard drive that's not from 1984, you'll be fine. The video quality will look just like it does when you're recording yourself on, solo on like a webcam. It's excellent. It does have some built-in editing features. It can make clips. It can help you with social posts. It's top-notch. Cannot recommend it any more highly. It's great. We're going to keep trucking. Next one is Cast Magic. This one's a good one for once you've done a recording for, say, a podcast or a video. You essentially feed it the video URL, or you can feed it the audio, and it will, using AI, take that audio and turn that into an accurate text transcript, snippets. You can use that for your like YouTube video chapters, the At the 0 mark, Beau gave an introduction. At 1 minute 23 seconds, Beau talked about SBA financing, et cetera, et cetera. You can turn all that content into blog posts, social media snippets, Instagram posts, TikTok videos, with the snippets. It's a game changer as well. Do you have anything to say about Cast Magic, Beau?
Yeah, I would say like if you're just getting started, you don't need it right away. It's something because I do it all the time. We can do a lot of this on ChatGPT. But if you're like taking this like seriously, like so if you're out there right now and you're not barely doing anything in social media and you're like, you know what, I need to do something because the market slowed down. I'm selling houses and it's like more challenging now with all these new NAR rules, right? And I need to build brand. Then definitely step up. But like the biggest takeaway I want you to have is one, get a VA, two, do video, and three, put out content religiously. And if you just do that, I guarantee you'll see results. Like, and you also got to bury your head a little bit. But I make a living just off of YouTube stuff, just YouTube, and like every day I have deals coming in. Like, and it's like I don't have to go hunt for people. So I want that for all of you too. Like, wouldn't it be cool if people like you started building authority in whatever niche you're in or any market as a real estate agent, where people just like, oh, I'm gonna book a call because I'm looking to relocate to Reno, Nevada, and I found XYZ agent, and she puts out amazing content, and like I want to buy that house she just did a tour of. The next, this is amazing too. It's called Opus Clip. So when I do long form video or video YouTube shows, and I can actually take the link, and Opus Clip actually automatically cuts and makes reels for Instagram and TikTok automatically. So let's just say let's just take this video that's being recorded right now. I take the link, I put it in Opus Pro, and it's going to cut 8 or 15 different clips. I could give it this, like I want 30-second clips, 60-second clips, and it cuts in, it puts the text in that you see on these Instagram, and it also puts in B-roll if you want B-roll. B-roll is just basically, random like shots if you don't know what B-roll is, that kind of make transitions within video. So I can automatically have 15 reels done based on this YouTube or on this webinar right now. So, but what I'm going to do, just high level, is I'm going to repurpose this video, right? I'm going to go into, this webinar will go into Cast Magic, and then I have 10 different prompts. It's going to do social media posts, hey, go watch the replay type of things, different little clips that we got out of it. We're going to cut reels. So I could have, just on this hour video, I could create 50 or 60 different pieces of content if I wanted to, right?
The cool thing is it creates the content in the layouts specific for the social media channels you're publishing to. And you can schedule those posts through Opus as well. So that, on Instagram, they like the squares, the 1080 by 1080. On TikTok, I don't remember what their native resolution is, but it's also usually a portrait. YouTube can be the 16 by 9, etc. So it's smart enough to know all that stuff, so you don't have to worry about it. In the old days, you'd have to like edit your video in different formats, and you'd have to do it in like 3, 4, 5 different ways, and that sucked. This way's way better. So we also use Publer outside of Opus Clips, which will allow you to schedule posts from your videos. This will allow you to schedule posts of any kind. It could be video, it could be audio, it could be written, blogs, RSS feeds that you didn't even create yourself. You could create like a blog where you have a channel about real estate news, right? Real estate industry news, where you talk about interest rates and market conditions and local stuff and federal policy and all that kind of stuff. Bring different sources in through various RSS feeds. Publer coalesces it into posts that you can pick and choose what you want to share on your social media. It's very, very customizable. It's very granular. And the cool thing about it is if you hand this over to your VA, they can do it for you. You don't have to spend all day looking at content. So You can schedule everything. You can upload media ahead of time. It's outstanding.
And let me
There is a
just add
learning
in.
curve.
Yeah, let me add in too. I don't do much. The only thing I really do is think of the idea now and create the video content and then I'll go into ChatGPT and create scripts and things. That's all I do. Everything else I do is delegated to the VA team. If it's a little bit of a complex process, then Bill creates an SOP around it, which then they follow. We only do it once, right? So it buys back your time. So anything that's repetitive, like templates and stuff, all that stuff gets systematized. And so I really don't spend that much. This is kind of overwhelming if I'm sitting on the audience side right now. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of stuff, but really, I don't really spend that much time. I spend all my time on phone calls or on Zoom meetings because all of this is working, I guess, which is a good thing. So it's not that overwhelming. You're not going to come in day one and do all this stuff we're showing you, but over the next, if you wanted to get your hands dirty and get going, you would implement slowly over time, but you would first figure out what you need a VA for, and then you'd slowly add in different things like this. Go ahead, Bill. This is ConvertKit.
So ConvertKit is the tool we use for our email marketing. Email marketing is very important. It is still the best marketing method you can use. Ideally, what you do is, I'm a marketing guy, so we think about funnels. We think about top of funnel and how do we get people into the funnel and how do we move them through the funnel to the ultimate, how do they become a client or a customer, right? So one of the ways you do that is, I'll just give you our marketing funnel real quick. You create a YouTube video, right? And you create it around content that your avatar, your customer avatar is looking for, right? So you create the content, you put it on YouTube. YouTube gives you the traffic. You don't have to go out and get it. As long as the content is good, you're gonna get traffic. All right. And then if you can, there are various ways to do this, but eventually you will get people with calls to action in your YouTube. Hey, sign up for my newsletter. Don't, you won't miss anything. Get all my updates. A fraction of people will do that, but a fraction is better than zero, because if you're not asking for email addresses, you're not going to get them. So people will sign up for your newsletter, and then you can market to them daily, weekly, monthly for the rest of time until they unsubscribe. And the key there is you're still providing content, but you're always staying. This is something we haven't talked about, but you want to be top of mind. If you're selling luxury real estate in Reno, like the hypothetical example Beau gave earlier at the beginning, you want to be known. You want to be the first person that people think of when they think of, luxury, new construction, luxury real estate in Reno, Nevada. That's where you are. That's your thing. That's your specialty. You want to be the person that comes up first, whether it's on YouTube or TikTok or Google or Bing or wherever you go, wherever your customer avatar is or might be. And people consume content from all over the place. So you can't just limit to one. Don't go crazy and try to be best at everything. But that's why Publer works, because it publishes to all these things without you doing much. But ideally, you want to get people into your funnel and onto your email list so that you can market to them time and time again. Same thing with YouTube. You want to get them to subscribe so that YouTube will do the marketing for you. Anytime you upload something new, if they subscribe and they say, I want the notifications, they click a little bell or whatever, they will get notified that there's a new video out there from you. So that's all good stuff. Gamma.app, we talked about at the beginning. That's how we made this presentation. It's outstanding. All you really have to tell it is, hey, I want to make a presentation about XYZ. Be specific, be detailed if you want. Here's the time, here's the date, this is the subject matter. It's literally, I don't know what their back end uses. I don't know what API they're using. They might be using their own proprietary large language model, or they may be using OpenAI's or whoever's, Gemini, whoever. I don't know, but it's pretty darn good. And it makes these outstanding presentations that you don't have to do a lot of work on.
Yeah, when I want to create content and I'm kind of like stalled out, I'll go on to ChatGPT and I'll like think of an idea. I'll create a few bullet points. I'll go to Gamma, this Gamma app, and I'll upload it and I'll create a presentation and then I just go with it. And I just, because it's a lot of just talking points and I'll go kind of off the cusp a little bit. And then even if I stutter a little bit and it's not perfect, it goes to my VA team. It goes to Nell, and Nell makes it look as beautiful. And so, Nell, make sure you cut out all the ums and the stutters. If there's any parts that are boring or repetitive, isolate them. Add B-roll. Do this. Add a minute upbeat, intro to it, and so then it becomes like a really cool thing. And I got the idea and shot it. And so I do a lot of stuff like that. You also have to time block, like when you're like, so you should time block each week so you have your content sessions with yourself, kind of do that deep work, because I think that is the biggest thing you have to do is really think about the marketing messages you want. So having an hour or two per week where you time block so you can think of all these ideas that you want to happen. And then now you're gonna over time build all these systems. So when you shoot that 2 or 3 minute video and send it to the VA, it ends up coming back as a masterpiece, and you're like, man, that's pretty good considering I just kind of went off the cusp a little bit. So that's what all this can do. So I'll do that a lot of times when I'm kind of running out of ideas to create new content. I'll go, okay, let me think about it. Let me go look on YouTube and so forth. So Gamma.app is a game changer.
So the last thing we do, I want to mention Canva real quick. Canva is an image editing and video creation tool. It's a paid tool, but you can use it for free and you can get a lot out of it for free. But Canva's great. I would say just get the free account, play with it. It also has an AI component. We don't use it very much. We usually just find a template we like by typing as a search term like real estate or SBA or whatever. We get some templates back. We pick one. We modify it to suit what our message is. And that could be like the thumbnail for a YouTube video. And even better, again, going back to the VA idea, give your VAs access to your Canva account. There are different plans on the paid ones where you can have different, numbers of users. But give it to them, offload it to them, because they're better at this stuff than we are. They can do stuff that we can conceptualize it, but we can't do it. Although it's pretty good, even with, a non-artistic person like myself. So the thing that wraps all this together is Slack, in that we can talk to our VAs through essentially chat. Slack has different channels, so you can have a channel for video editing. You can have a channel for, executive assistant stuff. You can have a channel for just general stuff that you want to talk to the whole team about. And depending on who you want to talk to, you can put in various channels, and you can have certain team members in certain channels. It's highly customizable. And it's the way that we communicate, and it's the way that we share files. So if we put something like, sometimes Beau and I do Q&As, we'll get questions from audience members through YouTube, through email, through wherever. We basically take them, and then I read the question, Beau answers the question, and we do 10 to 15 to 20 every session. And we send that Zoom, we record it on Zoom. We send that video, that Zoom video, to our Slack channel and let our VAs know that, hey, can you edit this video? If, let's say we answered 10 questions, edit this video into 10 Q&As, 10 different videos. And they do it, and they put the intro on, they put the outro on, they edit the video to make it look nice. And it becomes a standalone piece of content. And that standalone piece of content is essentially asking or answering a question that many of our potential and actual clients and customers have. And that's how most people find us, is through questions and answers, to be honest with you. Slack is integral in making all this work. We used to use Asana long ago, and it just didn't work for us. It might work for you. but we like Slack, and it works. It just flat out works.
Yeah, and then you can have separate emails too, which is great. So you could have a Slack channel. Somebody fills out a form. We have a separate Slack channel created, and that form goes to that channel. And then we have an SOP for that virtual assistant that might reach out or do certain activities based on that lead that comes into that certain channel. Because we have lots of evergreen content out there. So we have blog posts and stuff that people reach out. So it's a simple way of delegation and also keeping track of things.
Seriously consider getting a VA. Buy back your time. It's really important that you spend time on the things that give you the best return on investment. That's the concept, that's the strategy, and the tactical stuff can go to your VAs. Create SOPs for your VAs. That's their blueprint. That's how they do their job. And as you process improve, you change the SOPs to reflect that, and you just put it on Google Drive, and every time they go to it, they'll see the updates, so they'll know to change. VAs plus AI literally is winning. The old adage 1 + 1 = 2. Well, it's 1 + 1 = 10. You can really supercharge your results by using VAs and AI. Last thing I want to mention is, we've talked about this before, Business Ownership Summit. It's October 5th. It's starts at 9 a.m. Pacific. I think it goes till 1 or 2. There will be lots of things that we discuss and go over, and there will be guest speakers and whatnot. There will be opportunities to ask questions. That's all good.
Nothing has really come easy for me, but the one thing I can tell you is that I'm pretty darn consistent. And just showing up on YouTube consistently over time has made me a bunch of money. And I hope that you realize that you can't just get success overnight, typically. So if you stay consistent, you'll be very happy you did. I have a friend on YouTube, true story. He shot like 2,000 videos and he barely had any subscribers. Fast forward to today, he's got over 60,000 subscribers. He's made close to $1 million in his course, and his income continues to grow. So he's making several $100,000 a year between events, his YouTube monetization, and he's done 11,000 videos. None of them are edited either. Anyway, anybody can be successful if you have something to share and people will listen. And I'm sure you all do. You have to stay consistent. It's not a get rich overnight. But I'm so happy I did it because it's really a game changer to my business. I know it will be too. Combining all this stuff together, taking baby steps, 1% better every day, and you will definitely achieve it. So thanks so much. Hope to see you at Business Ownership Summit. I know it's a little bit different than AI and VAs, but that's the other things we do is we help people buy businesses. And one of my goals is to help 10,000 aspiring entrepreneurs become successful business owners. Many of those people need virtual assistants and AI in their business as well. So it all kind of works together. So thanks, Bill, for co-hosting.
Thank you.
Hi guys, Beau Eckstein here, and I'm with baby Beau. Baby Beau's just a little over 4 months. He's my first child, my wife and I. So if you want to create legacy for your family, I highly suggest you go to our Business Ownership Summit. You can find all the events we're doing. Primarily, they're all free. You can go to beaueckstein.com/events. And I hope to see you at one of our events where we teach business ownership, how to leverage SBA financing, tax strategies. I'm not a CPA or attorney, but we bring CPAs on. You're going to learn why everyone should own a small business. So I hope you attend. Go to beaueckstein.com/events. I'll see you at the next one. Hey guys, Beau Eckstein here. If you enjoyed what you saw, please subscribe to this channel. We talk all things financing. I've been in the lending industry for over 20 years, and I'm happy to answer your questions and provide great content.